Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Rifkin. I'm casting with the guest broadcaster mYi from the Team FM Esports. And we are here with some maybe familiar players, maybe unfamiliar players. Hopefully you'll recognize some of their names, but just in case you don't, spawning here in the lower left corner of the map, playing for Alien Invasion, it is the Yellow Protoss, CPU.
And his opponent, spawning at the top by playing as the pink Zerg for Team mYi.EU, it is Penguin. And the map is actually Daybreak, so that's always a nice map.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you a little plot here for recognizing my insanity, as I think it's hilarious that some people have been struggling with that recently. I think a large part of that's due to my intent having the same client tag. But recently, thanks to denial or whatever it's called now. So hopefully my insanity could brand themselves a little better.
Definitely, and they did just have a new pickup, which was announced today, and everyone's happy with that. But this is a PvZ on a map that's a bit old school now. This is a map that's kind of considered a bit broken for Zergs because of the split situation and the fact that if you get like a crap ton of swarm hosts, you just send them through the center in waves, and it's next to impossible to engage, and more importantly, engage and have a cost-efficient fight for the Protoss.
A lot of people struggling with swarm hosts right now. All the way up to Baby Knight, we saw recently versus Stefano. I mean, that's the best of the best that have trouble dealing with swarm hosts. So I think it's funny too, because a lot of players, I feel, have kind of staved off. Like, they don't quite want to get into swarm hosts yet, but they know they're good. And Penguin did lose, I would say, a nice pick off on that pro, but he did lose a drone beforehand.
Did he? I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, that's good that he got the drone, the probe in return, but he shouldn't have lost the drone to begin with. That's a very big mistake.
And he did just lose that one that was trying to block the natural of CPU, so not a good start here for a Zerg player.
No, that's already, you know, way more than he should be. Of course, now he does technically kind of have a little advantage because his opponent doesn't know what he went for. You know, the probe got killed off before the pool got spotted, so he could have went for a hatch first. But instead, he actually continues going for the pool and then the hatchery, so not capitalizing on that, really.
No, man, this is we talked about this map being old school. We got an old school build to match this map. We got the Forge Expand coming out of this.
Yep.
Both players kind of recognizing like a little scrappy here in the early game. Now, I don't know if these two have a history, but Penguin has been tearing up the EU ladder as of late. CPU, I imagine, being a very prominent player, has had his fair share of games, and maybe these guys have mashed or bashed heads before, I don't know, but uh-oh. This is going to be very unexpected here, as Penguin does not see this.
He doesn't, and this is a big mistake on his part. Where's his other Overlord? I can't see it. There's one. Okay, they're both flying across the map. Normally you leave one above your natural just to make sure that if a probe runs around, you do spot it. So this is going to be a risky. The third Overlord is going in the wrong direction.
And CPU. I love what he's doing by the way. Like, you'll see some players throw on 2 or 3 cannons right away. And I feel that's such a waste. You really only need the one to shut this down. 2's alright, but if he puts too much more into this is a huge mineral sink.
Yeah. 2 I like, because there's the important thing here, the fact that if the hatchery gets cancelled...
Oh, will he cancel it? He sees it! Well, he sees it! No cancel!
No cancel. And the second cannon will stay up, but you pretty much need 2 to stay alive, because otherwise drones or spine crawler queens can deal with a single cannon. So CPU with that second cannon definitely should take this out, and you think...
No, it's not even and you think, it's like, and you think you will ever get an expo? I do like that they're both being kind of friendly about it. They're so, like, it's so easy to fall into like the rage of the BM where you're like, oh, you can't in my base, like F you type thing, but...
Yeah, that does happen way too often. But I like this by Penguin. You know, it's Penguin's fault. CPU is capitalizing on his opponent's mistake, which is not seeing it. So Penguin wouldn't really have anything to rage about unless he's just a BM person, pretty much. But he is building a Roach Warren, so he's gonna try and just dodge the cannons because they're not in range of the ramp anyway, so they won't be seen, anything like that. And he's just gonna maybe try and put on some pressure. You know, the cannon of his opponent is very close in the wall, so he could snipe it. And, you know, there's no Zealots, nothing like that.
Well, what I would almost love to see Penguin do here instead is just go for a 2-base Roach All-In or something off this as a response, because Pewie's donated, and I say donated very lightly here, a lot of resources across the map that he's not going to have at home. There's not going to be the extra gateways. Each of those cannons is a gateway that's not going to be built at home. There is a single cannon, which a lot of Roaches can deal with quite effectively.
Yeah, and then there's extra stuff as well that really make a big difference. Like for example, because of course he had to build these cannons, etc. His gases were late. His gas income was late. He can't afford a mothership core. Only now started, his stalker. He's got his +1, but a mothership core is a big deal, in my opinion, in PvZ, especially if this roach attack was to happen, because of course you need to bank the energy.
Yeah, the photon overcharge is such a big part of this game now. Can you? It's hard to think of a time back in Wings of
Yeah.
Liberty where there was no photon overcharge. You gotta be like, how on earth did Protoss survive back then?
It was pretty much you just had to play a lot safer and have some really good force fields. But these days, it's like instead of force fielding your opponent out, you force field them in. So the force,
Pretty much. Yeah.
so the force, yeah, the photon overcharge gets the kills. These roaches will run into a zealot. Zealot guaranteed to die. Stalker's got
Stalker.
micro.
Should be able to run. Yeah, without speed, Roach scores very, very distinctively slow. It's like watching slowlings versus speedlings.
Yeah. A solid 0.7 speed
Oh
advantage
my
there.
gosh. I didn't catch this in production. That Penguin just pumped out a lot of Zerglings as well. I don't think he's gonna have. Oh, okay, CPU is a brilliant response to this. Throwing out some cannons immediately. He just thinks there's
Wow.
roaches though. He's gonna definitely need more than just a couple cannons to hold off this many Zerglings coming
Ooh.
across the field.
And that sentry nearly dead, suiciding itself in towards the roaches. There is the mothership core. Ooh, bit of lag. I don't know.
Oh, I guess they. Yeah, that awkward
I
pause.
could see that. I could see that in the replay somehow.
But the Forge
my
gets
God,
knocked down.
Force field actually doesn't cover the gap that the Forge did cover. There are two cannons. The mothership core is out because there is no anti-air.
But the roaches are just powering through here. Look at that sentry. It goes down. The mothership core, the only thing to hold this, and it doesn't have enough energy for that overcharge just yet. Penguin got to run right into the main, gonna get some more probe kills.
Warp gates are being morphed right now, so he will have 4 stalkers to immediately warp in. The energy on the mothership core is not enough to reinforce this. Zerglings streaming across the map means that this is going to be a very hard.
Oh, there we go,
He
the
has to
probe
plug his
pull.
warp.
The probe pull will deal with these roaches, but the stalkers have got the Zerglings to worry about. Actually, taking very heavy losses here is CPU. And a lot of this boils down to just not having that photon overcharge, that slightly missed force field on the sentry. I mean, this is...
Makes a huge difference. And to add on to that, the cannons are getting targeted him, but he hasn't plugged his wall. Like, so units are just free to run in. You're meant to plug the wall, plug it both sides, stop anything getting in, and then just kill the pylon when you want to move out.
Penguin leaving that cannon with 4 health, but making a very intelligent choice to dodge away from the cannons and the photon overcharge, just come straight back to the main. And with some proper kiting, you should actually be able to deal with these Zealots. With only the mothership cores, the true threat, Penguin's roaches, they're very soft, but he should still be able to do a lot of damage here before going down.
You really should, and he's done good economic damage. Behind this, of course, he doesn't have his own.
Flooding it with more Zerglings as well. That reinforcement wave getting in, nothing blocking that hole in the wall still.
This is getting interesting.
He's not going to be able to take it down, but if he were able to get this Nexus, this would pretty much put the game in his favor, but let's see at the end, the damage done. 11 workers, a lot of resources lost, but all in all, I gotta say, it kind of came out as a bit of a wash.
It did. There was a few things, like he didn't capitalize on it. Like, he could have done the damage, but he didn't keep himself ahead by macroing behind this. He hasn't taken out the cannons and the natural, for example, so he can't expand.
Hang on a second. We say he's not macroing behind this. Both these players are doing something very cheeky right now. We got a Spire coming out of Penguin and a Dark Shrine coming out of CPU. And the Spire of itself is not that big of a deal if Penguin didn't have gas, but look at that gas bank he's got. There's going to be so many Mutalisks on the field. Mutalisks and Zerglings will run over low stalker counts every single time.
They really do. And the income of CPU is restabilized, and he's not going to use obviously his blink right now because that gas has gone into DTs.
He needs units, yeah.
It should be. I know. Let's have a look. We've got 40 seconds left, so I think it might be like 10 meters in the +1. But he does really need to kill off that cannon and the pylon with his natural to expand.
Yes, I agreed entirely. But right now, I think he'll be a little bit more concerned with this little force in the middle of the map. Overseer actually doesn't get sniped off. I'm a little shocked CPU's choice not to do that, but coming from behind with these Zerglings, they'll have to meet with the Zealots first. The Stalkers, they will find nothing here to fight with. Of course, as we've pointed out several times, that natural hatchery does not exist.
Yeah, and more importantly, because it wasn't taken care of, now he can warp in at that pylon and reinforce. That's where the DTs are about to be warped in. So we're gonna see a fight. The meters aren't in production, so the anti-air, like the meters will obviously clean this up really fast. We do have 7, as he is supply blocked, so no
Penguin?
+1 either. Yeah, Penguin supply blocked.
Yeah, and at one point I thought he had scouted the Dark Shrine, that's why he's got the Overseer floating around with the army, but he actually doesn't have confirmation that it's on the field. So I think he's just predicting Dark Templar as a follow-up to the damage he did earlier.
That is that's really intelligent if he has, because that is exactly what you do actually. 'Cause
3 Stalkers, 2 Stalkers. These Zealots are going to do a lot of damage, but they cannot clean up the Mutalisks. And all this
Stalkers.
more gas going into the Stalkers, nothing going to Dark Templar yet.
And what's really interesting is, of course, you know, the
This Queen is the Pied Piper of Zealots.
is gonna get stuck quite soon. CPU. Oh, he's actually going for the Zealot, the drones instead.
Oh,
which
what?
is
The
really
Queen was
interesting.
safe, comes back for more. It somehow still lives. What is happening?
There's 2 Mutas taking out the mothership core towards the 3rd. There's a crap ton of Stalkers though. There's 3 Stargates in production, which means I don't really understand that because you can't fully produce off that.
That's definitely to get Phoenixes out quicker. You would normally go with 2 if anything, but the 3rd one's realizing he's already got these massive amount of mutas to deal with. So while he can't economically sustain it, it will crank out that extra unit faster, which he absolutely needs.
That is so true. Now, what I'm really interested in, okay, he does morph them into Archons, that's cool. Because of course, you know, he's warping in here, he has no way to escape. If these units try to go home, they're dead. So these units pretty much cannon fodder. But is he going to continue, you know, warping in back here? He's you know, building some Phoenix. He's going to try and save the Stalkers with his Phoenix numbers.
Oh,
But
Low
this is gonna
Queen
be interesting.
finally does go down. Sadly, Zerglings are here as well, but neither Zerglings nor Mutalisks deal with Archons too effectively. He's got to be very careful with the clumping. Look at the damage going down on these Mutalisks. Archons are falling very quickly, though, surprisingly.
They are getting targeted by a down, because of course once they're down, the splash and the unit control, Penguin can have a much easier time just clicking on the units and, you know, hockeying them to get taken out. So it does eventually get cleaned up. And
You know, I gotta say, the pylon here, we pointed out that it's cool that he could warp in the way he has been, but I almost think it's almost a bad thing that he's been doing. He's been donating so many resources to these Stalkers that are causing no real damage, only effectively picking off a Queen. So this pylon, I think Penguin's choice to leave it alive, not sure if that's intentional or not, but it's definitely working out for him.
It really is. Like, it's kind of weird how it all unfolded, but we do have a lot of Phoenix now. We have 6, which is acceptable numbers. If we go into the unit count, it's 15 meters. But
He's
with
also...
good unit...
Well, look at that fleet beacon on the way. This isn't for carriers, this is for that extra range. These Mutalisks will never be able to touch these Phoenixes.
I always forget. Anion crystals. Oh, no, Anion pulse crystals. I always forget, but that's what it's called.
Yeah, I know,
Finally,
it's never ever used. Like, when do you need to know that name? It's like Neo Steel
I know.
Frame. Like, these are just upgrades that are not utilized, but should be.
pretty much. Do you remember the first time it got used? It was like the White Earth Stefano show match for like $5,000 by the IPL in Texas, and it was like 4-1. And Stefano was like, "Oh yeah, once I saw Muta Phoenix, I was like, I've won this." Like, that's pretty much what it was like. The Sky Toss is a bit different now, and you know, if Phoenix already have a +1 range in comparison to Walls, so they have a 3 range upgrade now from what you used to see.
Yeah, it basically turns them into ridiculously effective air, but...
Yeah, they can actually kite Corruptors now, that's how good their range is.
I do like that Penguin's choosing not to engage this, though. It'd be so easy to just run those Mutalisks in and try and save the couple of drones and queens that are here, but he knows he's going to lose this fight if he does it.
Yeah, he's building in 3 Corruptors, which are going to be like the anchor point to his Sky Army. So, of course, if the Phoenix do try to engage, he's going to fly back to his Corruptors.
Ooh, almost like so does get one of the Phoenix straight away. Yeah, of course, he doesn't have that upgrade yet, so I mean, he's still got the range advantage, but as you said, it's only by 1 for the time being.
Anion Pulse Crystals.
Yeah.
9-second upgrade. It's pretty expensive as well. I think it's 200, so it's not a cheap upgrade. The 3rd is in production. There's so many minerals right now for CPU. He doesn't have a robo, does he? No, he should have a robo with maybe like a Warp Prism, just to harass, to keep his opponent from attacking him.
Ooh, nice pickoffs here of these pylons.
There's a lot of resources lost. Not getting the cancels. So many Phoenix though.
Oh, 3 at a time is ridiculous to try and compete with. Now the Corruptors are actually dealing with them quite effectively, just tanking while the Mutalisks do a ton of damage knocking down these gateways. No cancels going off whatsoever, and right now the Phoenixes are actually struggling to deal with this.
They really are. But one thing that's important to look, we've kind of taken advantage of it. The income right now is 75 workers v34 in the CPU's favor. So,
man, massive.
yeah, and, you know, he's ahead in supply by nearly 10. So it shows you that he is actually quite ahead. And of course, if he wins, the Sky fight, then he will definitely assert his dominance in this game.
I love the control Penguin has, by the way, constantly ducking his Mutalisks behind the Corruptors, making sure to use them as that wall from auto attacks. But the one big thing behind this too is Penguin double expanded. Yeah, well, okay, he took the one earlier, but he wasn't able to do anything with it. Finally clearing out the natural. I mean, yeah, his income sucks right now, but the amount of damage he's causing this entire game, he can kind of afford to have this low income. But he's going to start losing these Mutalisks, and as he starts trading these to the Anya Pulse Crystal range Phoenixes, it's going to become very difficult to maintain that damage he's been doing.
It really is, and there's some nice micro coming out. The Mutas are getting absolutely blitzed. They cannot be in front of the Corruptors like so. And, when you can kite Corruptors as well, it just shows you, like, really good unit control. CPU can absolutely decimate this army. But he should lose his third. The Warbins are going to try and fight off the Mutas, and of course, the Mutas...
The more these Phoenixes get on the field, the more deadly Zerglings actually become. Because right now, Stalkers, as we know, even against unupgraded Zerglings, struggle. Phoenix is going to lift up Zerglings, but you're not going to lift up 700 Zerglings anytime soon. And actually cutting right into that Mutaball, right now CPU is just struggling to deal with the air army. Forget what I'm talking about with Zerglings. Penguin might actually take this air fight, even though he realistically should not.
Yeah, he keeps flying through them and dipping and dodging like through the units, and that's not what you want to be doing. Fair enough, it's okay to take 1 or 2 shots, but he does have superior range. So, you want to fight on your terms, not on your opponent's. So, kind of a few mistakes. And behind this, he hasn't really got the gateway count to support his economy in a sense. So, you should produce a crap ton of Zealots.
Yeah, he needs to just be counterattacking with Zealots while this is going on, because he's got them all sitting at home, and that's great, but there's nothing really here on the ground for them to deal with. They're just cannon fodder, Mutalisk Glaive bounce soakers, if you will.
Oh lol. Muta Corruptor. GG. Oh, okay.
Alright, well that's just gonna be it, I guess.
We were like, what's he about to say? What's he... I thought he just made a big mistake then. He's like, oh crap. Like, I accidentally started getting my +1 armor shields, my armor instead of my shields or something, but...
Yeah, there's no fun response to that either. I mean, you gotta go with storms or something ridiculous, but of course, with how mobile Mutalisks are, it's very difficult to use any of that, so... Really well done out of Penguin, responding to a very funky opening this game. I gotta say, with probably the best way he could have.
He definitely did.
Oh, I'm sorry, just real quick. You know why he GG'd?
Because he mined out his bases?
Yeah, there's nothing left here for him whatsoever.
I just realized that there's like one patch with 35 resources, which, the 7 trips, so that is not going to save him.
Alright, well, Pewee Dude, thank you very much for casting with me here today. I'll make sure to have all your Twitter information. If you guys liked his casting, you can find it in the description down below, but that's going to be it. See you guys next time.
Goodbye.